Welcome to another episode of ARWP, the All Real Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Eric Novak, and today we have a special guest. He is a ginormous monster. If you're not part of his savage kingdom, you will be the last one to survive. He is the Savage King, and I'll see you guys at the end of the interview. He is the Savage King.
Oh! What's going on, people?
What's up, man? Let's start with the most important question in all of the questions I can ask you, and it is, why did you decide to lace up the boots and get into the ring?
Well, it's deep family history.
Okay.
It's lineage. My people are, it sounds crazy, but my dad was a wrestler years ago, way before I was born. And it goes all the way back to, and it's going to sound very cliche, all this and all that, but my people are actually from Greece. And it just, all that ties in, to make a long story short.
Okay. So you're doing this as a family name type of thing? This is like bloodlines?
It's in my blood.
All right, awesome. That's amazing to hear, because, this isn't an easy sport. A lot of people say they can get in the ring, and then when they do, they immediately quit, because the first fall, the first hit, it's over. But if this is, something that is in your blood and you have to do it, that takes up so much sacrifices, takes up a lot. So it's really powerful that, you're keeping it in the bloodline. You're keeping generations moving. All right, that's amazing. And wow, it's very unique, Greece, so beautiful, so much came from there, especially, a type of wrestling. There are luchadors from Mexico who have their style, and Greece has its own style of wrestling. And I would love to, get more into that. So how would you describe, Greece, and how would you describe wrestling, with Greece's, traditional aspect?
Brutal. One thing that I've studied many forms of martial arts throughout my years growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually the smallest one in my family.
Okay. All right.
It's all boys, and I'm the smallest one. So my brothers were put into boxing and other things. I was put into martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always had a love for wrestling. Just just combat, period.
Okay.
And just growing up, being the youngest out of 5 boys is very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
My father is very competitive. So to be the best sometimes meant being the most vicious or savage.
Mm-hmm.
And I just grew up with the love for it, and it's a great way to let go of your anger and frustration as well.
I agree.
So therefore, when I'm in public, when I'm out, I don't want to just rip somebody's head off. Let's be honest. So many people play video games. So many people watch football, watch boxing, and all these other things to escape their reality.
Mm-hmm.
To let go of that frustration that they have. And to me, the ring is one of the best places that I let go of my frustration, but at the same time, I create art. And it's like painting a picture or making music or something similar to that.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if you wanted to keep going. I thought that, something happened just now. Okay. So let's go to the next question. Next question will be, if you can describe your first match, if you can describe how you got it, where did you go, and how you felt knowing that that's the first time a live audience is going to see you come out as, whatever you were going to sell to the audience that you are, yourself, your character. Just describe to me all those emotions.
Okay, my first match was at ACW with the WWE network. Are you familiar with them?
Of course.
Okay. I love WWN, Trevin Adams, Gabe Sapolsky, all those guys over there. I've been working on this gimmick for a while. And it's something that has been near and dear to my heart that I started years ago, but just been able to bring about.
Mm-hmm.
And ACW, the WWN Network, they really pushed me to bring this character to the forefront. And my first match was exciting. I didn't care who I faced. I didn't care how long it was, whatever it was. I just wanted it. I had my gear for at least a year and a half, probably. And so just sitting there watching it every day, looking at it, having it called to me, it was beyond exciting to put it on, to have a live audience, to do it at a pay-per-view, to wrestle at a pay-per-view actually for my first time with this gimmick was, I hate to steal this term, but it was electrifying.
That's amazing.
It was beyond amazing. It was a 3-minute match. And literally my blood was on fire.
That's awesome.
The whole time. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's, that's when time stood still, right? Time.
It did.
A 3-minute match.
Everything went in slow motion, literally.
It
was amazing.
There's a saying, I believe it was Albert Einstein, where it's like 1 second can last a lifetime. If that second is like one of the most amazing moments in your life, time is stood still.
It's funny. Pleasure and pain are siblings, and both of them can suspend time for you. And that was a sheer moment of pleasure, of me inflicting pain upon somebody, which is crazy. So it was, it felt like it lasted a lifetime. I was breathing. I have cardio for days, but I was breathing hard. I was so excited. I'm not going to say I was out of breath, but I was definitely heaving.
All right.
Just because of the sheer rush that I had. So, I have to agree with that.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's get to, where you are now, what kind of matches you've been doing. For those of the people who are listening to this now and have never seen your work and are tuning in now because they want to know more about you, how can you describe your character, which you already have in the previous question, but like a little bit more with gimmick wise, even though this is more than just a gimmick to you? How would you describe your character? And if you can name us some of the most amazing, memorable matches that you had that we should definitely check out.
Okay. A lot of my matches from Booker T's Reality of Wrestling has been really good. Believe it or not, I just started this character in October of last year. This character I would have to say, is a culmination of everything that I am, and I'm still finding myself in this character. Because when they see me, when I walk out, it's automatically like, they say, okay, this guy's a monster. This guy is I've literally heard while I was walking out to the ring, I'm hearing squash match. I'm hearing, oh, that guy's dead, and I'm feeding off of that. And that's exactly what I'm going for. And that's what I want to give the audience. With this character, I want to give them everything that I am, which is savage. Everybody wants to be a savage until it's time to do what savages do. And that comes with taking pain. That comes with getting kicked in the face. That comes with getting slammed. That comes with, when I got into wrestling, I wrestled under another name. Loved it. Great. All of everything you can imagine. And then, like with all dreams that you're chasing, you run into walls. You run into certain obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you lose the excitement for it. Why? Because this business that we're in, it's draining. And it can suck all the joy out of it. And because I was trying to do everything that so-called you're taught to do, which is right, the right way, which a lot of times is garbage. With this gimmick, I have been able to live what I actually dreamed and thought what professional wrestling was and is and what it should be. A lot of wrestling of today has fallen to the wayside. A lot of it I can't even stomach to watch. But let's be honest. We are all wrestling fans. If you're in the business, if you love it, you're around it, you're a fan. Otherwise, you're not going to be in it long. And what did we do growing up? What did we do? What drove us to the fandom of that is wrestling? The hero, the villain, the underdog, the champion that climbs to the top, the fight. And of today, we see a lot of dancing. We see a lot of dancing. We don't see a lot of fight. We see a lot of jumping and flipping, which I'm a fan of all of that. I can flip, I can jump, I do all of that. But that's what we see. We've lost the just plain straight kick in the face. Slammed to the ground. Snatched up and chunked through the ceiling. We've missed that. We've lost that. We've lost the storytelling. And with this, everything that I am, if you watch the movie 300, that's what I am. If you watch the movie Spartacus, that's what I am. If you watch Gladiator, that's my gimmick. That's my character. Someone who loves to roar the crowd. Someone who lives for combat. Someone who will not accept nothing less than victory.
I love
by
it.
any necessary.
I love it. Listening to what you've been saying, I have chills. I literally had chills for like a solid minute because it's so powerful what you're saying, and it's so important that many people that are listening to this hear this. That there has been a shift in wrestling. There has been a change. A lot of it has been, cruiserweights. And the bigger guys have lost, the storytelling. And having your character be like the 300, be like Gladiator, that means everything is on the line. Good guy, bad guy, everything is on the line. You walk in that ring, that's the only thing that matters. Everything else is gone. And I understand that from exactly what you said, because it was so powerful. It was said perfectly. And I'm just honored that I'm listening to this. I'm honored that you are giving me your mindset of getting in that ring and doing what you do.
I appreciate it. A lot of people wonder why I wear the mask. Most people thought it was a helmet that I could take off. And I was like, no, it's a mask. It pays homage to the luchadors. It pays homage to the gladiators. It pays homage to the Spartans. It pays homage to history. And when I put this mask on, that's when I'm actually able to step into the world that I live in, the world that we want to exist, the world that heroes live in.
Mm-hmm.
Champions emerge. And actually, for the times that we're living in right now, We really need that.
Agreed.
Wrestlers have always, to me, been larger than life. They've been what I would say would be a tangible superhero or supervillain.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that can suspend time. When you're watching a wrestling match, if they're doing their job, entertaining the crowd, living life to the fullest, putting everything on the line, nothing else matters.
Mm-hmm.
You could have just had a divorce, flunked out of school, just so many different things. You could have just had a bad grade, depending on what age you are, a bad report card, anything.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're watching that match, nothing else matters right then. And that's what a wrestler's job is, to suspend your belief, take away all your problems, and let you enter into this world that you can actually be a part of.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And so many have lost it, but I haven't. And that's what the Savage King is coming and bringing back. That's the reason why I always say join the Savage Kingdom or become a victim of it.
Love it.
Because I truly believe that.
That's awesome. But let's now get to the most important question, and it's where would you go? There have been companies that have been wronged. There have been storytelling that you need to change. There is NWA, MLW, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling. Where do you want to start? Help me out here. What would it be? Where would you start your colonize? No. What would be a perfectly good word to say for what you would do if you make it into if you go into the company?
Conquer them and bring them into my kingdom.
Perfect.
Honestly, I've looked at all of those companies, and I'm a fan of aspects in all of those companies. I would be honored to go in and literally burn down and tear down everything they have just to build them back up the way that they should be. Now, it's not to say that they don't have great champions, great warriors there, great wrestlers there. They do.
Mm-hmm.
They do. And not to say that some of the storytelling is not amazing. But all of them are lacking one thing. And that's literally from WWE all the way down to the minute company.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Savage King. Because I plan on bringing my kingdom, my ways, my beliefs, which is honestly all of our old beliefs, what made us fall in love with this from the beginning. So you can do everything, the flipping, the jumping, you can do the olays and this and that. And at the end, you may throw me around, you may flip me, do me all this, but it's going to end with a savage Spartan kick to the chest or to the face. You're going to get that 300 death hold kick. And then from there, you're going to prepare for glory.
All right.
And that's not just in the ring. That's in the boardroom. That's dealing with the writers. That's dealing with the agents. That's dealing with everybody, because it has to be changed. And the only way that we can do it is if those who are on top, those who are willing to fight, and I know I'm sounding poetic right now, but I do mean this in a business sense. We have to get dirty. We pray for rain, but we don't want to deal with the mud. We have to dig our hands in the mud, and we have to get dirty.
Agreed 100%.
In order to rebuild. We got to, if it's not going right, we have to tear it down. You do not want to build on an old raggedy foundation. You tear it down, you dig it up, you lay a good foundation, and then you build from there.
Awesome. All right. I want to play a game. I usually don't do this, but with you, I want to. I'm gonna name you wrestlers. It could be from any company. I'm gonna pick a name. You have to describe it one word, because they might be holding the team. All right.
Say it one more time.
I will give you names of wrestlers. You have to describe them with one word about how you
Okay.
feel about them. All
Okay.
right. I'm gonna start off with Braun Strowman.
One word. I would have to say, potential.
Okay. Big Show.
A monster.
Okay. Willie Mack.
Exciting.
Okay. Jay Lethal.
Experienced.
Kazuchika Okada.
Deadly.
Love it. Okay. Let's go with Matt Riddle.
Cocky.
Baron Corbin.
Good.
Falaba.
Friend.
Randy Orton.
Amazing.
Rey Mysterio.
Legend.
Last but not least, the man who's holding WWE right now. Well, two men. Second, Karrion Kross. Killer Cross.
Challenging.
Drew McIntyre.
I would have to say boss.
All right, awesome. That was the game. That we're gonna go to that, and now let's go to one of the most exciting questions that I usually do, and it's dream matches. You said you want to go to different kingdoms, different companies, break it down, destroy it. Who are a few guys you want? Like if you ever watched, or you have, because you said it, Gladiator, 300, all that. There's always a dominance of aspect. Who do you want? And you have to name it from each company. So go from like any company, like name the company, name the guy who you believe is holding that company and isn't doing a good job, but someone that you want to rebuild and destroy and break it to something new, better.
Guy I would love to have a match with is at MLW.
Okay.
There's Jacob Fatu.
Of course. I did not name him. I don't know why, but I should have. Okay.
Impact, I would have to say Moose.
I didn't name him either. Man, my game sucked. I literally
No. You're good. You're
I
great.
didn't
You're
name
great.
Moose either.
Okay.
Okay.
New Japan, definitely Okada.
Okay, at least I got one right.
AEW, it's one or two guys. It's two guys I really want.
Okay, it's fine.
Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
NWA. What is Tim Storm for his experience.
Okay, I like that. Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
I love Jay Lethal, but it's two guys that I'm not a tag team, but the freaking Briscoe brothers.
Okay. All right.
I would take both of them on in a handicap.
All right. We're booking it. Okay.
And just because these guys are vicious, I love these guys. WWE.
Let's start with NXT.
NXT. Okay, great. Karrion Kross.
All right, going for the head
Hands
champ.
down.
All right.
Just because I think I would love to do it, believe it or not, in the underground.
All right.
I would love to face him in the underground because the way what he has kind of it irritates what I am. It counters it. It don't counter it, but it in a different aspect mirrors to an extent. So definitely Karrion Kross.
Okay.
I would love to face Keith Lee.
Okay. All right, Keith Lee's a good one.
Just because of his cockiness, his arrogance, and his ability. To me, to face only the best, nothing else would satisfy.
Okay.
Be
Understandable.
brought to the I'm a huge anime fan.
All right.
And Dragon Ball Z is one of my favorites.
Of course.
Dragon Ball Super and everything. And when you take a Saiyan and you push them to the limits and you beat them down, when they rise again, they're stronger.
Okay.
They're wiser. They're more deadly. So in order to be the best, you have to face the best and take what the best have. And win, lose, or draw. But to me, you never lose because even if you're defeated for an instance, you learn. You learn. You learn more from defeat than you do from victory.
Of course.
So many people don't understand that. And lately, I have been running amok. I've been rampaging everywhere. And I have yet to meet the one to really challenge.
I love it. Okay. All right.
So those guys right there. And
you still have Raw and SmackDown.
Raw and SmackDown. Okay. SmackDown. Would
How do you feel about Roman Reigns?
Roman Reigns. I didn't see his return, but I think Roman Reigns was completely used in the wrong way.
Okay.
I think they pushed him way too fast, and they wanted to put him on top when everybody wanted to see him claw his way to the top. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Roman Reigns, I think, is a great competitor. I would love to stand across. I would be honored to stand across the ring from him, but he's not the one who I would have my sights on.
Okay. All right. So who would it be? Who would be the SmackDown? Who would you lay the SmackDown to?
I would say from SmackDown, believe it or not, who I would love to have a match with would be AJ Styles.
Okay, the man who runs the place. All right.
And that's because he has done more than pretty much everybody there.
I agree.
And with that, he has experience. He has heart. A lot of people don't understand how deadly experience is. They look at age as a weakness when it gets older. It's really a strength. Younger boys, and that's what I will call them, because we have a lot of boys that are the size of men, but they're not men here.
Okay.
We have a lot of boys out there that think that their strength and their youth is what's going to make them be able to run over anybody. But it's experience. Knowing how to deal with a situation where you've been slammed, you're dizzy, you're almost down for the count. Unless you're put in the fire and your metal is tested, you don't know what you're made of. And a lot of these boys think that, oh, they're older, they don't know how to do it. But people like AJ Styles, Randy Orton, all these guys have experience.
Mm-hmm.
They've been tested. They've been through the fire. They know what they're made of. They know Triple H, when he had his quad torn?
Yeah.
And he finished the match?
And he finished the entire match, yeah.
A lot of guys can't do that.
That is true.
They think they can. That's the reason why we see so many wrestlers and all these companies, like you said earlier, they get out there and they think, oh, it's great, until they get thrown in the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons why I would like to face AJ Styles.
All right.
And from Raw, Randy Orton is on Raw, right?
Randy Orton is on Raw.
Randy Orton.
All right. Now, before we get out of this section of the questions, I do want to mention this only because there is so much talent and you can't name them all. But let's talk about the chosen one. Do you know who I'm talking about? Do you know who the chosen one is?
I think so. Go ahead.
Drew McIntyre. He had such a long path to get to where he is now. To get to his transformation was hard work, dedication. He wasn't the guy he is now. He was a lot skinnier. He was a lot younger. He was a lot, less mindseted with where he's at. He came back. It took him years in the independent scene to come back looking like a gladiator. And I'm not saying that in disrespectful way.
He's like a freaking Viking, yes.
Exactly. How would you feel about Drew McIntyre? How would you describe? Because my main thing is, you said a lot of truthful things. There's a lot of wrestling right now. There's a lot of guys who don't bring what you believe and what others believe should be brought to the table. How do you feel about Drew McIntyre?
I believe Drew McIntyre is running amok right now. I believe he has came into his own, and he has that experience that I was talking about. He's not a boy anymore. He's a man. He's grown. And as you see how he deals with things and how he addresses things, yeah, definitely. I think he's carrying it. The only problem I feel with Drew is that he feels he's undefeatable. He feels that he can't be defeated. He takes everybody as all like, yeah, come on, but I'm going to beat you. 1, 2, 3, Claymore. It's not that simple. I love Drew McIntyre the way he is, the viciousness, just the same way I love the way Jinder Mahal came back. Vicious. The way Bobby Lashley is, freaking vicious. Shelton Benjamin is on his way to becoming vicious because of the tutelage and the leading of MVP.
Mm-hmm.
But Drew McIntyre, I would love to face Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
I would love to be across the ring because he's a freaking giant, and it would definitely be an Achilles versus the Thracian in that whole moment. And honestly, that's the exact way it would end. From the movie, what was the name of that movie? Which is history, actually. But what's the name of that movie? Anyway, I get kicked in the head a lot. I don't remember.
Hey man, I'm not.
Troy. That was the name of the movie.
All right.
Troy.
All right.
Yeah, I would love to face the giant. I would.
Awesome.
And I would love to put him down and pay homage just like David and Goliath. I'm a little bigger than David, but
love it. Love it. Now let me bring up two characters, and wrestling has been actual fighting, but wrestling is also gimmicks. Wrestling is also selling people on your gimmick. How do you feel about Finn Balor, him as regular and him as the demon? What he does as a regular Balor is 5% of what he would do as Demon Balor, which is 10%. How this man can actually change his own wrestling style, his agility, everything for that, and also The Fiend. So these two people who are so alike, so, overlooked, even Bray Wyatt, in my opinion, the things that he did as just part of the Wyatt family, even that was like he already deserves to be called a man for the things that he did against the Undertaker, John Cena at WrestleMania. He's went up the levels of, and I never thought he would even go to a higher level with this whole Fiend thing. The Fiend is what I love about it, and what you'll never find anywhere. After you face the Fiend, you change. Every person that has ever gotten with the Fiend has changed. How do you feel about Demon Balor, who, and I'm not talking about like, I will talk about his experience with WWE, Demon Balor in WWE, but also in NXT, if you're familiar with his work. He was in the first ever steel cage match. He was there for takeovers. Demon Balor, that would be the face paint. That would be like, people put on face paint before a war. That's what that is, and he's called it that before. And then you have Bray Wyatt, who's literally changed people's mindset. How do you feel about both of them?
Okay, let's attack the Demon first.
Okay.
Completely, utterly, totally underutilized.
Uh-huh.
A waste of talent. Why? Because if they let him go, he's going to get larger than they want him to be.
Of course.
The reins are on him, the chains are on him, and it is horrible to see such a great and amazing company chain down such amazing talent.
Mm-hmm.
It's heartbreaking because the storytelling alone between those two is insane. The Demon, like I say, just it's heartbreaking.
Of course.
It's heartbreaking.
I agree.
Just what he's capable of. And just to see him, I don't know. I feel the same way with Ricochet.
You talked about Triple H, about how he tore, during a match, how he kept going. Finn Balor did the same thing at SummerSlam against Seth Rollins, where he literally destroyed his shoulder, but he somehow, finished the match to win the championship. Moments like that is what makes you a man. But I agree with exactly what you're saying about him being overlooked. I agree. He's in NXT right now, and he's getting his wins, but he's not holding the place. A WrestleMania moment is him versus Karrion Kross. Demon versus, we're not getting that booking. We're not getting that, there's a lot of overlooks in Finn Balor, and I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Hopefully that changes, or if they let him go, he'll make it as one of the biggest stars somewhere else. I agree with
you. Exactly. I completely agree. And that's the horror. That's the horror right there. That like you said, he worked through that and to win the championship and everything. But you see, one of the problems with a lot of, definitely with, and I'm not trying to down the company at all.
Me neither.
Because that's my crowning jewel. That's where anybody who's ever wrestled and wanted to be a professional wrestler and seeked it WWE has been in their sights. Whether you want to go there just for a little while or whether you want to go there and go all the way, WrestleMania moment, main event, WWE Universal Champion, whatever. The horrifying thing is that, and they're changing a little, but you cannot take and make a wrestler. You can't take a football player who never loved wrestling, a fitness athlete who never loved wrestling, and turn them into a great wrestler. But you can find people like AJ Styles, like Finn Balor, who has dedicated their life to this sport. and they will get out there and give you everything that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And they will leave it out there. A lot of guys, yeah, I may just be a natural athlete. I may be naturally charismatic. But if I get hurt out there, I'm not going to finish. You're going to see the referee throw those X bones up. They're going to run out there. They're going to shut the match down.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody who loves this sport from beginning to end, you will see them finish that match in a historical moment. And years from now, they'll be talking about it because they say, oh, yeah, he tore this, he broke this, he pulled this off the muscle off the bone, and he still finished the match.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's that passion, that fire that can't be extinguished. So definitely that with the Demon, just underutilized. It's heartbreaking.
I agree.
Bray Wyatt is literally one of my favorite to watch. His work with the Wyatt family, his storytelling, his promos, just everything about it was just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Your time and your belief was suspended. Why? Because he grabbed your attention from the beginning and he held it right there. And there was no way that it was going to be taken until he was done. So, one of my dreams, I had let me see, dream matches, like historical dream matches that unfortunately will never happen. So I have to re-put other people in those places.
Mm-hmm.
The Undertaker, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, could definitely take probably the Undertaker's place for me.
Okay.
In that dream match.
I mean, I have hope in you. Every time I interview a wrestler, if I have messaged any wrestler, it is because I have so much hope in them that I know their character, their idea will make it to the companies, that they will be a star. And I don't want to hear that that's your dream. I know it's your reality. I believe you will eventually get to the Fiend and you will conquer kingdoms. I believe 100% someone is looking at you right now, and it takes years before you get the actual call. But I am sure that NXT, WWE, SmackDown, Raw, any company will definitely look at you as a star.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course.
I really do.
But, you brought up the Fiend. We bring up Balor. We bring up all these guys. But the main guy that I want to know your mindset. If I said, hey, you're battling this guy, what do you think? He killed wrestlers before. He has taken the biggest guys and murdered them in the ring. He took Ricochet. He had Ricochet in his hand. Main event. Killed him in a minute. He had all of them. He had Balor, regular, not demon. And he made him tap after a 4 or 5-star match. It is Brock Lesnar. It is the Beast. How do you... Because that you could say is a dream match. But how would you prepare yourself? Do you have any fear? Like you said, you're a gladiator. He is definitely someone that won't... He'll look at you and he'll be like, that's a stupid gimmick, and he'll F5 you. How do you feel about someone like Brock Lesnar just being in this industry, in this wrestling industry?
Oh my gosh. Excited. I mean, to look at, and they've said it so many times, a once in a lifetime, once in a generation type athlete as Brock Lesnar is only exciting. If you would ask me if I'm going against this guy tomorrow, tonight, next week, if you would ask me, are you afraid? I would say yes. But fear, when it's channeled in the right way, it's exciting. It's fuel. it keeps you on your toes. It brings out the best in you. For a man to walk into a cage with a lion and don't have that much fear within him, he's a fool. Fear can save you. It's a difference between having fear and actually just being scared to death to where you're frozen. I'm not speaking about the fear that freezes you. I'm speaking of the fear that brings the best out of you.
Mm-hmm.
The fear that makes you alert and aware and makes you pay attention, makes you know that the slightest slip up means the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's all over with. So everything slows down and speeds up at the same time. The air is crisper because you never know if this is your last breath that you're taking. The colors are brighter. Everything is sweeter right then in that moment. Why? Because you're facing a lion. You're facing a beast. But it's life. And life without a challenge, without a threat, it's nothing. Then, only then do you feel most alive. When you're in jeopardy, that's when you feel alive. How many people have came back from near-death experience and say that, now they look at the world completely different. Everything is, the colors are brighter, the air is sweeter, everything is better.
Two wrestlers, actually. Two wrestlers that are in big... Hello? Yeah, we got disconnected for a second.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I was going to say two wrestlers actually bring that, what you're saying. It is Jaqueen Wild, a.k.a. DJZ, and Darby Allin. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know if, they see it differently themselves, but they do have a different passion for what they do. For example, Darby puts his life out every day hitting a freaking, finisher that almost breaks his entire back. Or DJZ just going and non-stop wrestling, there's a different drive for it. And I agree with you 100%.
So that's how I feel about Brock Lesnar. He's that one variable that just makes it's like a knight going to face a dragon. Until you kill that dragon, you may be a great knight, but you want to be the knight that killed the dragon.
Agreed.
That's what it is. That's
awesome.
What Brock Lesnar is to me in this business.
Awesome. I really this is not like this will go up, in a week or two, and I just cannot wait for people who have never heard of you or have heard of you, your fans, hear this, because this is what people are going to be talking about. This is what I believe will be the news. How you're saying, like this could be a promo, this may not be a promo, but you have it. You have the look, you have the passion, the drive, and you can sell a conversation. This is, there's a reason why there's wrestling podcast. We want to stir the pot. We want to change reality, and that is what you're doing. That is exactly what you're doing.
Thank you. The companies that I'm working at right now, they are allowing me to be me. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be there.
Okay.
Which is Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, which is local wrestling here in Houston, and also Houston, Texas wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
ACW.
Mm-hmm.
So many different other. I'm working with a lot of different other companies. Potentially, I'm going to Warrior Wrestling.
I cannot wait to see you. This is huge. If this is the first time you're announcing it, this is huge. Since this pandemic, Warrior Wrestling has put blood, sweat. They have got everybody they could. I cannot wait. I want to see you in Cage, you in Archer. This is like, if you're going to Warrior Wrestling, you are a warrior. They're like literally their profile pic, their like actual logo is you. Like a warrior should be. You should. I'm honored. I'm honored that you got to tell people that listen to that you are speaking to Warrior Wrestling, because that is a huge get. They don't know what they got, or maybe they do, and that's why they did it. But that is going to be a huge addition to Warrior Wrestling's roster.
So, like I said, I'm in the negotiations with them right now, and that's definitely one company that I would love to go there and just rampage through, just run through, just rampage through. Give me your best. Let them drag me, or I drag them. But at the end, they will all become part of the Savage Kingdom or be a victim of it. One of the two. There's nothing in between.
Chills. Love it. Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations. Let's hope, pen hits paper. It's done, and we get to see you. I will be watching. I watch Warrior Wrestling all the time. I will be buying every pay-per-view. When I do get to see you, you'll see my reaction firsthand. I'll DM you. I'll
stay in touch.
We will 100% stay in touch. We are cutting down. There's been so much. There's been, people have to digest this. When they're done listening to this, they have to really go lay down or just think about everything you said, because so much powerful knowledge. Knowledge is power. What you gave, so much power. Let's talk about, the thing that helps you the most. How can people support you? Where can people find you on social media? Where can people support you in ways that only helps your character? Where can people buy your merch? I see you're wearing one of the coolest shirts I've ever seen. Where can people buy your merch? Where can people find your stuff, your work?
Right now, directly dealing with me. I've been talking with Wrestling Tees and everything, but right now everything is dealing straight directly with me. So you would go to my Facebook, my Instagram, or my Twitter, and if you can leave a link for it on the caption below, I really would appreciate it.
That's what I'm gonna do. I will leave everything. So just send me. I'm pretty sure I can find it, but yeah. But tell people your tag too, so they can look for it.
Yeah, definitely. It's D as in David. It's D Savage Kingdom on Twitter, and the Savage King. If you just put in the Savage King on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, you'll pull me up.
Awesome.
Sure.
Before we go, you already said so much. Like I said, there's already so much knowledge. If you want to share one more piece before we leave, before I, cut the audio, before everyone gets to think about this, if there's one thing you want to tell to the fans that are listening to this, new, old, what would it be?
What I would say is that prepare yourself.
Awesome.
You can feel it in the wind. You can see it in the clouds. A change is coming. The kingdom is spreading like a wildfire. And the wolves are at the door. Choose where you're going to be. And this is just in life, period. I know that I am a destroyer. I am a savage. I'm teeth in the night. I am fear in the darkness. But that's only to those who oppose the light. This is not just in wrestling. This is in life, period. So this day, choose what side you're on, what you're going to be in life. Enjoy the Savage Kingdom or become a victim of it.
I hope you all enjoyed that interview. I loved talking to the Savage King. Such emotional, physical, mental. atmosphere he gives out when you interview him one-on-one. I just imagine how it is to be there in a live crowd, just to watch him perform wrestling like it's his last match all the time. His live or die spirit is awesome. I loved listening to him. I love talking to him. Amazing performer. If you are new to who he is, go follow him. All his information is in the bio below. If you're new to my channel, please like, comment, subscribe, share with all your friends. All my information is in the bio below. If you want to give me a follow, if you want to tweet me, if you want to tag me, I would love to see all of that.